So I want to start today by just asking you to notice something
Okay.
right now, just for a second. It's that, that specific sensation, the one you get when a certain name pops up in your inbox.
Right, the chest tightening.
Yeah, that's the one. Or that split second your fingers just hover over the send button and you freeze.
Or the smile you have on your face at a party.
Well, you're saying, oh, I'm fine, everything is great.
But inside, it's just quiet screaming.
Yeah,
That's familiar territory.
it is.
It's the texture of modern life for so many of us. It's kind of the background noise we don't even really hear anymore.
It is always on. But, digging into this material on Gestalt therapy, I had this really uncomfortable realization.
What's that?
I always just call that feeling stress or, nerves, or maybe just having a bad Tuesday. But the argument here is that it's a hum beneath the surface that we've built our whole lives around.
It's the vibration that never quite leaves. And what's so fascinating about this approach, looking at it through Gestalt lens, is that the goal isn't what you think it is.
Right.
We're not here to fix that nervousness. We aren't here to hack your brain to make you calm.
Which is so counterintuitive. I mean, usually we do these deep dives to solve the problem. If I have a flat tire, I want to fix the tire. If I have anxiety, I want to delete it. I want the hack.
Of course. And that desire makes perfect sense.
Right.
But what if the problem isn't the fear itself? What if the problem is the fear that hides behind the fear?
Okay.
That's where we're going. We're looking at the actual structure of how we avoid living.
So our mission for this deep dive is pretty clear, but also, honestly, a little terrifying.
A little.
We're going to explore this argument that we need to stop running, that fear isn't an enemy to crush, but an ally, a doorway to actually feeling alive. And I have to say, usually I'm, ready to jump in, high energy, but this material, it really asks us to slow down.
It does. It demands intimacy. We can't rush through this because the very thing we're talking about is the result of us rushing past our own experiences.
It's all about the here and now.
That's the cornerstone of Gestalt. It's about being present with what is, not what we think should be.
Okay, let's unpack that. Because we need to start by dismantling what we think we're afraid of.
Right.
I mean, if you asked me, I'd say I'm afraid of failing. I'm afraid of rejection, of looking like an idiot in a meeting.
And those are all valid, real fears. Nobody's saying they aren't, but they're surface level. The argument is that the true terror, the thing that actually paralyzes you, isn't the storm outside.
It's the storm inside.
It's what happens when you stop running from the storm inside. We're not just afraid of failure, we're afraid of feeling.
That distinction, it really caught me. It's not the event, it's the internal capacity to handle the emotion.
We're afraid of the intensity of our own aliveness. Exactly.
So there's this idea of a hidden contract we make.
The hidden contract. It goes something like this. I will tolerate this numbness. I will live in this gray zone.
As long as I don't have to face what's buried underneath.
That's the deal.
That is heavy. We choose numbness because it feels safer than the raw edge of emotion. But is it really a choice? It feels so automatic.
It becomes automatic, but it starts as a protection. For a lot of us, avoiding fear is something we learned when safety meant invisibility.
If I be small, if I don't feel too much, I won't get hurt.
Safety as invisibility. That resonates, doesn't it?
It really does.
But the cost is you mute your life. You turn the volume down on the pain, sure, but you also turn the volume down on the joy. You can't selectively numb emotions.
So how do we even know we're doing this? Because I feel things all day long. I'm annoyed at traffic. I'm happy about coffee. Am I really numb?
Well, this brings us to a core Gestalt concept, phenomenology.
Whoa. Okay, that is a $10 word. Phenomenology. We got to break that down.
It sounds like it, right? It sounds like you need a tweed jacket.
Oh.
But in practice, it's incredibly simple.
Phenomenology is about describing the what, not analyzing the why. We spend so much time in our heads asking, why am I like this? Why am I anxious?
The endless analysis loop. We think if we find the cause, we solve the puzzle.
Exactly. We try to think our way out of a feeling. Gestalt asks you to just drop the why for a minute. Just look at the what. What is physically happening right now?
So not I'm anxious, but
My chest is tight.
you're getting out of the story and into the data.
The somatic data. Yeah. The physical data.
Yeah.
The knot in your stomach. The heaviness in your shoulders. The dry throat. The shallow breath.
And the instruction here is crucial. Don't fix it.
Which is unbelievably hard. We are fixers.
It's the hardest part. My instinct is, oh, my stomach is in a knot. Let me deep breathe it away. I want to optimize the sensation out of existence.
Precisely. You treat your body like a malfunctioning machine.
Yeah.
Check engine lights on, better smash the bulb. But what we're talking about here is just noticing it, letting it be there. Because that knot isn't a mistake. It's information. That physical sensation is fear waving a flag from a silenced part of yourself.
A messenger that's been waiting a long time.
Fear doesn't live in concepts. It lives in the pulse at your wrist. It lives in that sudden urge to pick up your phone and scroll the second a moment of silence hits.
Oh, the scrolling. That really hit home for me. That urge to distract, to disappear into noise.
It's an interruption.
It's not just a bad habit. It's an active avoidance of what's happening inside. It's like, oh, a feeling is coming. Look, a cat video.
It's a way to sever the connection with yourself. And this leads us to what I think is the most illuminating part of all this, the cycle of contact.
Okay, this was a total light bulb moment for me. I've never seen emotions mapped out like a circuit board before. So, walk us through a healthy version of this cycle.
Sure. In Gestalt, every experience follows a natural arc. It starts with sensation. You feel something physically, let's say a rumble in your stomach.
Okay, simple enough. Sensation.
Then awareness. You realize, oh, I'm hungry. You name it.
Yeah.
Then comes mobilization. This is where energy gathers. Your body preps. You stand up. You get focused.
In action, I walk to the fridge. I grab an apple.
Then contact. This is the peak. You actually eat the apple. You're fully present with it.
Then it ends.
Satisfaction. You feel full. The need is met. And finally, withdrawal or release. The need is gone. You rest. And space opens for something new.
So, sensation, awareness, mobilization, action, contact, satisfaction, and withdrawal. It's a complete loop.
It's like breathing,
Right.
in and out. It's a rhythm. When we do this, we flow. But with emotions, especially the tough ones, we interrupt this cycle constantly.
We hack the circuit board.
We do.
So let's apply this to, say, a conflict at work. I feel the sensation heat in my chest.
Right. That's sensation.
Awareness. I'm angry at what my boss just said.
Good. Now comes mobilization.
Yeah.
Your body wants to speak up. The adrenaline spikes. You are ready to move.
I don't. I smile, I nod, I say, sure, no problem. I go back to my desk and open Instagram.
You broke the circuit. You skip from mobilization straight to a distorted kind of withdrawal. You try to skip the middle.
So where's that energy go? The adrenaline.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It stays trapped in your body. And the result of these broken cycles is what's called unfinished business.
I love that term, unfinished business. It
Yeah.
sounds so bureaucratic, but it's actually deeply emotional. It's like leaving 1,000 browser tabs open in your brain.
That's a great way to put it. And here's the critical point. You don't fear the original threat anymore. You're not just reacting to your boss's email today. You're reacting to the unfinished business of 1,000 past moments where you felt threatened and didn't complete the cycle.
So my nervous system is just stuck on high alert.
It stays waiting. It's like a bow that was drawn back and never released. The tension is chronic. You're walking around with a drawn bow 24/7. No wonder we're exhausted.
This explains so much. The massive reactions to small things, the spilled milk that makes you sob, it's not an overreaction.
It's incomplete contact. It's the past knocking on the door. And this is where the definition of responsibility changes.
Right. It's not about fault. It's not, I'm to blame for this.
It's responsibility, the ability to respond.
The ability to respond to experience with presence.
Yeah.
That takes the shame out of it. It's not that I'm broken, it's that I'm interrupted.
It does. And once we remove the shame, we can look at how we do it, the specific mechanisms we use. And they're called adaptations for a reason. They were useful once, they saved you.
But they might be drowning us now, and I have to admit, reading this list, it was like reading a biography of my own coping strategies.
I think a lot of people feel that way.
The first one is projection.
They are judging me.
Exactly. I walk into a room and I think everyone here thinks I'm inadequate. I am convinced of it.
But Gestalt invites you to flip that. Projection is often a feeling of your own that you can't accept, so you throw it onto other people. What if that judgment isn't out there? What if you are judging you?
So you reclaim it. You stop outsourcing your self-worth. That is powerful and terrifying because I can't blame the room anymore.
You have to look in the mirror. You have to own the thought, I am feeling inadequate, not they think I am. Then there's the second one, confluence.
This one felt so sneaky. Confluence sounds nice, like rivers flowing together.
It sounds nice, but in this context, it's the loss of boundaries, the inability to distinguish between me and you.
It's the yes when you mean no, blending in so perfectly that you disappear.
It's the pathological peacekeeper. We think this, we feel that. The cost is the loss of your edges. You forget where you end, and they begin,
So the work is tolerating the discomfort of saying, this is where I end.
which can feel like a death if you're used to blending. If you've survived by being a chameleon, standing out feels dangerous.
Okay, then we have retroflexion. That one just sounds painful.
It is painful. Retroflexion is doing to yourself what you would like to do to others.
Give me an example.
Okay, back to the boss. You're furious. You want to yell, but you can't. So instead, you go home and berate yourself. Why am I so stupid? Why didn't I prepare? Or you clench your jaw until you have a migraine.
You turn the arrow around 180 degrees. You become the target of your own energy.
Exactly. And this connects directly to physical symptoms. Headaches, tension, exhaustion. It's a war happening inside your own skin.
And the last one, deflection, the art of the dodge.
The joke,
Yeah.
the intellectual debate, the scroll, the let's change the subject.
I have a friend who does this. The second a conversation gets real, they make a pun.
It's a shield. It widens the gap between you and your life. You hover above the experience instead of diving in.
So reading this, you see these things in yourself, and the immediate reaction is shame. I'm so flawed.
No, absolutely not. They are adaptations. They are brilliant strategies you developed to survive when you didn't have support. You don't break them down with a sledgehammer. You honor them. You say, thank you for protecting me.
That's such a gentle approach. So if we honor them, what do we do? If I see I'm deflecting, what's the action?
And that's the key. The solution isn't doing.
That's what confuses me.
It's the paradoxical theory of change.
Yeah.
Change happens when you become what you are, not when you try to become what you are not. You don't need to do anything to fear. Awareness is the intervention.
It feels almost too simple. Just be aware. It sounds like a bumper sticker.
It's deceptive. It's actually incredibly active work. It's harder than fixing. Try the exercise. Bring to mind a moment of fear, something small.
Okay. I'm thinking about a difficult conversation I need to have.
But, and this is key, don't replay the story. Don't rehearse it. Just drop into the sensation. Where is it in your body?
Okay. Tightness in the chest. It's hot, constricted.
Now identify the impulse. What did your body want to do in that moment? Beneath the politeness. Did it want to run?
To shout.
To shout? To hide? Imagine completing that movement.
It's just in my mind.
In your imagination, yes. Or even physically in a small way. If your body wanted to push, imagine your hands pushing a wall. If it wanted to curl up, let yourself fold in.
You're letting the cycle finish. Closing the tab.
Exactly. You are re-owning that energy.
Hmm.
And when you do that, fear transforms. It stops being a wall and starts being information. It stops being static and starts being flow.
It's like those examples. I'm not afraid of failing. I'm afraid of being seen as inadequate because that's what I believed as a child.
Or, I'm not afraid of loneliness. I'm afraid of the grief I've never let myself feel.
The fear points to the wound.
And the wound points to what matters. Connection, truth, life. When you complete the cycle, you realize the monster wasn't a monster. It was just a part of you that needed to be seen.
This totally reframes the whole goal of self-improvement. We're always sold this idea of becoming fearless.
Be a warrior, crush your goals.
Yeah, and this completely debunks that. The goal isn't fearlessness. Fearlessness is actually a kind of numbness.
If you don't feel fear, you probably don't feel joy either. You build a wall to keep out the sadness, you also keep out the sunlight.
So what's the goal then?
The goal is wholeness.
And wholeness includes the trembling.
It has to. If you cut off the fear, you cut off your aliveness.
Yeah.
There's this image of the liminal space, that time just before dawn. It's not dark, it's not bright, it's tender. That's where real life happens.
It's about changing our relationship to fear. Stop treating it like an intruder.
Right. It's the shift from reaction to response. You might still tremble. You might still feel that knot in your stomach, but you tremble and speak.
Tremble and speak. I love that. It's not waiting until you're steady. It's doing it while you're shaking.
And placing a hand on your chest and saying, I'm here with you, that's the act of reparenting yourself in real time. You stop looking for safety out there and start building it in here.
And it's not always about quitting your job or some big dramatic confrontation. Sometimes it's the tiny acts of courage.
Like saying, I don't know,
Yeah.
or asking for help.
Or crying in the shower. I used to think that was a sign of a breakdown.
It counts as completing a cycle. It's letting the river flow. Rivers don't stop flowing because they have rapids. If you let the grief move through you, it leaves. If you stop it, it stagnates.
Which brings us to the end of this. But really, it feels like we're just getting started. There's this idea that we never arrive, which honestly is a little annoying. I want to arrive. I want the certificate.
And that urge to be done is the urge to stop feeling. Gestalt is about completion of cycles, not closure of life. Closure is a door shut forever. Completion is a living process.
There's always another layer, another fear, and instead of that being discouraging, it's framed as well as life.
It's an invitation to stop arguing with your fears and invite them in for tea, to see what they have to tell you.
The key takeaway for me was that line: you were never broken, you were just learning how to come home.
It changes everything, doesn't it? If you're not broken, you don't need fixing, you just need witnessing. You need to come home to your own experience.
It's a massive relief. It takes the pressure off. I don't have to build a new me. I just have to be with the me that's here.
And it leads to that final provocative question that we're left with. Something to really sit with in the silence after this.
What if my fear isn't the end of the story, but the beginning of a deeper one?
Let that question unsettle you. Let it open a door. The world doesn't need you fearless. It needs you real.
Thanks for diving in with us.
Take care.